What's up, guys? I'm SaltEMike, and this is your Star Citizen Week in Review for August 26th, 2024. And 4.0 and Pyro, yep, they're delayed again. 3.24 is still not live, but they're certainly trying. And those rentals made it into the PTU. All that and more on today's Week in Review. And as always, if this is your first Week in Review, this is where I take all of the official Star Citizen news each week, put it into one video, and share some of my opinions about it. I also live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/SaltEMike, so keep stopping by. If you guys haven't yet, I'd love to see you guys there. We do have quite a bit to get to this week, but before we do, let me tell you about today's sponsor. This video is brought to you by Manscaped.com, the global men's lifestyle brand that's transforming men's grooming. Today, the leaders in male grooming are helping us spice up the hair care regimen on our heads with something fresh. And no, it's not a new razor or ball deodorant. Get ready for the game-changing new scalp buffer from Manscaped. First things first, check out these thick silicone bristles. They're 100% antibacterial, no more germs hitching a ride on your head. The bristles gently exfoliate your scalp and reduce dry skin and buildup from hair products. One of the cool features is that it's designed to stimulate blood flow to your hair follicles, so increased blood flow equals healthier hair. You can also pair it with the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner from Manscaped for the ultimate hair care routine. These products are designed to work together, giving your hair the nourishment and strength it needs. Simply put, the scalp buffer is your scalp's secret weapon. Its antibacterial silicone bristles keep your scalp healthy, maximizes shampoo performance, gives you a soothing massage, kicks bacteria to the curb, and stores away like a champ. Your hair routine just got a serious upgrade. So take your scalp from zero to hero with the scalp buffer. Go to manscaped.com today and get 20% off plus free international shipping when you use promo code SaltEMike at checkout. That's 20% off plus free shipping with promo code SaltEMike at manscaped.com. And yes, more blood flow to my head might be a good thing. You guys might end up liking the videos a little bit more. So thanks for engaging with the sponsor, and let's get to those patch notes. All right, and starting out with Monday, it was a 324 PTU, and they removed 32 SCU containers from the options at Outpost because, well, you can't send them up, and that's a good thing since a lot of people were accidentally losing money doing this. Not that big of a deal in a PTU, but on live it would be. Also, this restricted the multi-tool tractor beam based on mass. So you're unable to pick up anything more than 24 SCU, but it was actually 24 tons. There is a measurement of that in the game. We had a lot of issues with rotation of the boxes in this patch, but it kind of felt like a bug. And for bugs, they removed that annoying one where you would permanently it would say unclaimed cargo awaiting transfer on your screen after leaving the mission pickup location. Blockade Runner was live and it's functioning better, but it still has its issues. Then Tuesday, the only feature change was dealing with those weird rotation issues that we had on Monday. Something not listed in the notes is they cleared all the random static items in your hangar. So you're kind of free to decorate it more, but more importantly, you're free to place a ton of smaller ships around kind of the sides of your hangar. But unfortunately, those don't stay permanently all the time, and that's unfortunate. I tried Blockade Runner again, but I was rammed by an NPC at the drop location. But the main change here is that they lowered the turn-in from 15,000 SCU to 4,000 SCU. And the main bug that I saw fixed was, not a great attempt, but it will become a theme throughout the week, and that is trying to get these super high entity counts down that are being caused by hangars. They're really trying to fix that issue. Wednesday, this patch, they added the rental ships in. So they were planning on adding a lot to the game. Elliot made a post listing the ones that they were able to add. So the notable ones that are out were the Vulture and the Reclaimer, as well as, I think, the Carrack, but that ended up getting added later, and I don't think I mentioned that in this script at all, so got that in there for you guys. They were incredibly cheap, though, almost free at this point. So yeah, that was a little bit weird. And this patch, they're really confident that they nailed down the issue with invisible asteroids that has been plaguing this game for years, actually. So it's hard to tell if they fixed it, right? Because you only know that they didn't if you die. And I doubt a lot of people are playing on the PTU. So we'll probably find out by live if this worked. Lastly, they lowered the number of SCU needed for Blockade Runner again, down to 1,000 SCU, and it's to just try to test the later phases a lot more with the event, and I think that that's a good thing. Thursday, this patch, they noted that they missed like a 0 or something, I think. So the rental prices were actually addressed to be more proper. And I think they might have went a little over, but I don't know. It feels about right, where it's a few, like maybe 3 or 4 missions before you kind of can pay it off, and that's probably a good thing, right? They also addressed the ground vehicle improvements, not just to kind of help with movement, but when you tractor beam them around and things like that. It didn't work that great for the Gravlev stuff, but the Gravlev vehicles felt like they were moving better. So hard to say how this one went. For bugs, they made some fixes to the scrap yards as they're part of the unlawful side of the Blockade Runner event, hopefully fixing ships clipping when they're coming up the elevators. And they did fix that. I think that was pretty good. There was a few minor issues, but nothing too bad. Most of the ships are coming up and not bouncing around like they were before. Friday, it does not seem like a live candidate, although I believe on Wednesday or Thursday they considered that one a live candidate, but they never fixed this entity leaking issue, and on Friday they didn't either. As I'm recording this, I record this on Sunday evenings, they're still trying to deal with this entity issue, as well as a lot of issues that they had with the Friday PTU, where it was extremely unstable. They're really trying hard to get this out. I believe they have a hard date to get 324 out to live, which will lead to live not being a great experience, but it is what it is. It's been in the PTU, whether it's Evo or an open PTU, for 2 months. So yeah, this has gone on too long, and there is no denying that when that happens, that things get delayed. So let's talk about that. All right, for Roadmap Roundup, let's start out with the update to the progress tracker. I expect a lot more after this significant delay to it, but the progress tracker essentially is now reflecting a lot of the change that was going on within the company. So this delay was probably quite warranted because things are really moving around a lot internally. So what we got was a, big change for them, but not really that significant of a change for us. The expectation around this change was significantly overblown compared to what we saw externally, right? So we see this a lot. They talk a lot about, oh, this is such a big deal because it's a big deal for them. But what they need to recognize is, will it be a big deal to the people you're communicating to your customers, to the people who play your game? And in reality, it was not that big of a change, right? They did mention a few items that are like on the progress tracker, I guess, for 1.0. Crafting was one of them, and all the cards for 4.0 are listed in the progress tracker now. That was kind of disappointment number 1 from the roadmap. But on to disappointment number 2. Like everyone expected, nobody is surprised that 4.0 was delayed again to around the end of the year. So first thing I would ask is, what's replacing Q3, right? Jake mentioned on Spectrum that that they're going to add cards to the IAE patch, so I expect some updates soon, but cards could be just ships for IAE, so it's hard to say, will that be a replacement? Are there going to be any features added around that time, around CitizenCon? What's going on? Are we going to be stuck playing 324 until December, right? I think that's what a lot of people want to know, and yes, stuck is what it feels like. 323 and 324 were not the game-changing experience that I think a lot of us were hoping for this year. So, they need to get something good, and I don't think 324 is going to kind of scrounge together any goodwill that they need to have going into CitizenCon. So we'll see how CitizenCon goes. And then lastly, something else that's, I guess, slightly disappointing. Engineering gameplay doesn't look like it's going to debut on our ships. It's going to debut, but it's going to debut in Pyro at Outposts in 4.0, like we saw on last week's ISC. So it's in there. It's probably in there in the way that we want to see it, is in a smaller way. Let's deal with any bugs, issues, things like that there, and then allow the artists and people that are, there's hundreds of ships at this point. We need to get hundreds of ships to have all sorts of art, all sorts of interactions, and be placed and make sense from a gameplay standpoint. So yeah, I think that's okay, but it's also disappointing because, yeah, that was a big change that we were looking forward to. I don't know if a lot of people were looking forward to engineering on all their ships. We heard a lot of complaints about the tedium that they feel that would be. The sooner you get those on the ships, the better. The sooner you get the feedback, the sooner you remove the tedium as much as possible and get to the fun, right? So that's the disappointment, but I think they're probably doing it the right way, throwing it at the outposts first. Really short video update section this week. We only had an inside Star Citizen. I really enjoyed this episode, but it provides zero information about the game at all. So there are no clips to pull from it, but it was an episode about a concept artist that made some legendary ships in Star Citizen, a lot of Argo Crusader ships, along with some of the oldies like the Gladius and Saber. In the end, the ships, their interiors in particular, and the fact that we can move around them is what keeps me still convinced that Star Citizen has a chance to be a good game. And part of the success is due to the awesome interiors and designs of these ships, right? Obviously, we need the gameplay to tie into it, but the ships will always take whatever gameplay they put in the game and step it up above and beyond. So, awesome episode. If you want to go down memory lane a little bit, that was pretty cool. But again, nothing to pull from. And there was no Star Citizen Live this week. A week where we really needed to be communicated to, I think, when, significant delays happen, and nowhere to be found there, and that's unfortunate, but hey, it is what it is. Looking forward to seeing what we're going to get next week as far as video content, so let's move on to other updates. As always, we start out with the sneak peek. This is obviously a missed ship, but it can be a number of ships, so I'll let you guys kind of debate in the comments what you think it is. But I can say what I hope it is. I hope it's a Misk salvaging ship. I think the Prospector is a nice ship, and I would love something kind of similar from Misk in that range, like a 60 SU cargo grid salvage ship. I think that would be pretty sick. Then for dev posts, we got quite a cool bit of cool stuff here. The first one is there will not be a wipe for 324, and this is probably a good thing. Economy updates are nowhere near complete, and it really makes no sense to do one now. The game is in a weird place, and there is a huge exploit in the PTU right now, so there's no sense in wiping at the moment, right? REC in the PTU is going way up, so you can test all the ships and weapons and armor that you want in Arena Commander. That is a great change. I know it's not the PU, but that is some positive things to say this week in a week where we don't have a lot of positives. Testing is good. Arena Commander, Star Marine, they have been paramount this year in getting changes and things fixed, and that is important. I know a lot of people are like, Arena Commander, whatever, nobody plays it. I'm telling you, more change has come and more positive change has come out of Arena Commander than any testing that has happened on the PU, I think, this year. And, I believe that. And maybe some of you guys don't, but I feel like I've seen it and I think it's been good. And if you have been searching for the night vision scopes and you can't seem to find them, you probably did find them, but there's a bug that's preventing them from turning on. There's a toggle to turn them on and off, and you can't toggle them on. I think there's a size 3 scope that is always on, so if you guys find that one, you'll be able to see it, but the 1s, 2s, and 4s are just not working. So hopefully they'll get that fixed before live. With that hard date, who knows, but they're really cool, and I hope you guys get to experience them. Ship Showdown, not a whole lot to say here. It continues. They're a little turny, and I hope you guys are having fun with it. And with that said, I gotta say thank you so much for last week. The amount of sharing that you guys did about your loved ones, your pets, and things like that was so heartwarming. It was really, really, it helped me, right? That I'm not alone, and you helped me kind of cope with what I was feeling with, and or dealing with, I should say. And it's the kind of cope that I need, and not the kind of cope with Star Citizen that we need, right? So I really, really appreciated that. So with that said, guys, hit the like button. Check out Manscaped if you guys haven't yet. And this stuff's coming, I think, next Monday. I think that's what we're going to do. It's ready, but I think I'm going to launch it specifically around Week in Review. So thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next week. Again, appreciate you so much. Like the video, comment, and subscribe. And thanks again.